trying to figure out how do I best help. And in the beginning, it was just, you know, material things, dropping off generators and towels.
Because you got to teach them the rest of it. You know, this little girl.
I never thought of this before. I'm having an aha moment right now.
She got money. She got money. Your little next movie get bought.
More money is coming to fire victims with a pledge that gets money into the hands.
The person who called me and said, what can I do? This is what you can do. The People's Fund of Maui.
Took me on a tour of a new owned headquarters out in L.A. She even took me through her private office where she keeps a lot of very personal photos and memories.
You do?
If no one tells you that...
I never knew that.
You've got to hear the crazy gossip going around the entertainment industry. It's all about Oprah Winfrey hogging the limelight. And guess what? Steve Harvey is trying to keep his connection with the billionaire under wraps and salvage his reputation. Here's Steve Harvey not looking too happy at the mention of Oprah's name.
One of Oprah's favorites. She says it's a miracle, fountain of youth, and her magic wrinkled.
So here's the deal. Steve Harvey decided to publicize Oprah's endorsed product, but the bummer is that the product is rumored to be made from foreskin. Now, it's understandable to raise eyebrows concerning the circumstances that may surround the production of this product, as well as how Oprah might be involved. But the real tea is how shocked and uncomfortable Steve appears to be, likely at finding out his name could be associated with this product from Oprah.
It's made from human foreskin. I'm sorry, Steve.
Critics also suspect that Steve knows more than he's letting on about this controversial product. But hold on, Steve and Oprah might not be the only ones likely involved, because Sandra Bullock appears to have spilled the beans and admitted to getting a facial treatment with young foreskin extract too. And you know how Hollywood works. Once celebs give something the green light, it starts to seem totally normal. But let's face it, it's far from ordinary.
A piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby.
Okay, let's dive into this bizarre situation. If we're talking about the extraction of babies' foreskins, it does sound pretty irrational, right? So what could possibly be going on here? What secrets might Oprah be hiding? And is Steve Harvey playing dumb to protect his reputation? These are some pretty wild questions we're dealing with. Keep watching to find out all about it. Steve Harvey may be known for being very controversial, but this rumor appears to be a controversy that he wants nothing of. During one of his shows, a guest introduced a product endorsed by Oprah Winfrey, and during the application of this product, he stated that it looked red like blood, expressing a sarcastic shock when told it was made from human foreskin.
You'd have sat up here and squirted somebody's private parts in my damn hands!
While he and his audience laughed it off, it's clear that there is something fishy going on. Observant social media users have given their opinions, and trust me, there seems to be some sense in them. A user wrote, "Live on Steve Harvey, a skincare product is advertised as a fountain of youth for big celebrities like Oprah. The ingredients, as said, are growth hormones from baby foreskin. That means they either take a child's foreskin from the hospital or from sacrifice. Cancel culture?" Another user added, "I think of that expensive facial cream made from baby foreskin. Steve Harvey was pushing it on his show." While another fan wrote, "Nope, because the people are in a trance." A lady said on the Steve Harvey show that her anti-wrinkle cream was made from human foreskins, and the crowd then laughed about it like it's some ordinary thing. And another fan added, "Lady Gaga, Angelina Jolie, Tom Hanks, Madonna, Matt Damon, Brad Pitt, Sandra Bullock, Biden. The list is endless. I remember a woman trying to advertise it on one of Steve Harvey's shows. She tells him it's made from human foreskin. They're not even hiding it anymore." Although Steve is keeping the actual details hush-hush, some celebrities have been pretty vocal about the brutal allegations about how celebrities harm young people to make products that keep them young. Wendy Williams, known for her bold statements, recently claimed that there are sinister practices going on to keep celebrities forever young. She suggested that the industry might be using bizarre methods like baby secretions to maintain their youthfulness. It sounds unbelievable, but many people are buying into these claims. Wendy Williams, the outspoken radio personality, spilled the beans on this shocking conspiracy during an episode of The Wendy Williams Show. She even brought Lee Daniels on her show, who openly admitted to using these supposed secretions for younger-looking skin. It's enough to give you chills just thinking about it.
I mean, you know, there's something to be said for being with a younger man.
I baby's blood and put it on my face.
Wendy's facial expression said it all. She was clearly disgusted by the whole idea. And if you're skeptical, there's even an article in Business Insider talking about clinics that offer procedures like filling your veins with young people's blood. It's a wild world out there in the world of celebrities. But let's not forget how disturbing the procedure itself is. I mean, where are these companies even getting the blood from? It's downright revolting to think about. And speaking of looking unnaturally young, take Oprah Winfrey, for instance. Despite turning 69, she doesn't seem to show any signs of aging. Now, remember when Oprah started that all-girls boarding school in South Africa a few years ago? Well, things didn't exactly end well there. After its first scandal, the school faced more trouble when 7 students were suspended for their classmates. It's unsettling, to say the least. While there's no concrete evidence, some internet folks believe Oprah might have some connection between illegal activity and the entertainment industry. The theory goes like this: for these procedures to work, they need fresh blood, as reported by Business Insider. So using a boarding school as a cover would be quite convenient. Even though there's little to no proof to support these claims, the public buys into the idea. Creepy, right? Well, people have been speculating about missing girls, and no news outlet has shed light on how the school handled the situation. So the mystery continues to fuel discussions online. And here's another wild one. Despite the lack of evidence, some fans think Oprah is setting up orphanages all over Africa to harvest chemicals from children's bodies. It's quite a disturbing notion, with people suspecting that she's using these orphanages as a front for her side business, all without arousing suspicion from the authorities. The suspicion grew even thicker when Angelina Jolie and Oprah's supposedly business agenda crashed. Here's the deal with Oprah and Angelina Jolie. They were supposed to team up for a big charitable effort when Oprah opened her Leadership Academy for girls in South Africa back in 2006. Oprah thought it would be a match made in heaven since Angelina had spent a lot of time in Africa after her daughter Shiloh was born. It made sense, right? Hollywood's biggest star partnering with TV's biggest star. But Angelina turned her down, and it hit Oprah pretty hard. One insider spilled the beans to Star magazine, saying Oprah won't ask Angelina for help with her causes again. Now, Angelina has also dropped some hints about Oprah's work ethic. She seemed to imply that Oprah might be using kids as bargaining chips for her own success in the industry. Rumor has it that Angelina can't even stand to be in the same room as Oprah.
But to believe that you can take them as property and them and sell them, and it's something from the dark ages. It is just so horrific.
The fans believe there is some truth in the rumor, as one fan penned, "We know Angelina is part of the same club as Oprah, so the question you should be asking is why now? And what do the other club members think about this being revealed? Is Oprah being sacrificed? Maybe the whole thing is falling apart." Another fan wrote, "I believe her, but at this point I feel like they are all just ratting each other out to save their own hides." Too little too late. Anons outed this stuff years ago. And remember Oprah's controversial comments about girls? Yeah, she made some eyebrow-raising statements that didn't sit well with most people. Fans thought she was almost giving tips to culprits on how not to get caught. It's safe to say that her remarks were met with a lot of criticism, like accusing her of supporting illegal activity and other disturbing stuff. Some folks even believe that Oprah and other Hollywood elites are part of a huge illegal activity ring, living the high life thanks to it. It's wild and unproven, but a wide range of top celebrities have faced one allegation of illegal activity or the other. But wait, there's more to the Oprah story. She's also been facing some serious heat since the Maui fire outbreak, and now even Jason Momoa is jumping on the bandwagon. After the incident of the Maui fire, Oprah and Dwayne Johnson took it upon themselves to start a funding campaign for good cause. But Jason's pretty upset about people like Johnson and Oprah seemingly asking regular folks, who aren't as loaded as celebrities, for cash. The Aquaman star also felt the need to use his Instagram platform to warn his followers about any scammer trying to trick people into sending money under the guise of supporting Maui wildfire disaster relief efforts. In a video, he spilled the beans on imposters impersonating him, asking for donations supposedly destined for Maui.
The people on Instagram, pretending to be me, asking for money. Pure evil, in my opinion. I'm not going to be reaching out to anyone on Instagram to ask for money.
Now, some folks are scratching their heads, wondering why super rich celebs like billionaires need to ask the public for money. There's talk that they might have some hidden agenda behind their pleas for cash from regular folks. Digging deeper, it appears that both these famous faces might be up to some tricky business with the Maui community and those who think they're donating to Jason. In response, Jason's basically calling them scammers and warning folks not to donate to any unofficial sources unless he's given them the green light. Jason's making it crystal clear that he'd never ask for help or money through Instagram or any other platform. He's asking why he'd need to when he's already set up legitimate ways for people to donate to help the fire victims. Now, to address all the backlash they've been getting, Dwayne and Oprah have dropped a video statement. They're using their fame and fat wallets to pledge assistance to folks affected by the Maui wildfires. It's worth mentioning that Oprah has a place in Maui, and Dwayne spent part of his life in Hawaii. These two stars have launched a relief fund for the Maui wildfires, kicking things off with a generous $10 million donation. They're calling it the People's Fund of Maui, and it's under the Entertainment Industry Foundation. This fund's mission is to provide $1,200 in monthly financial aid to folks over 18 who've lost their homes in the fires. That includes renters, but not property owners who don't live in the affected property. It'll be fueled by both public donations and that hefty initial grant from Winfrey and Johnson. But you know how the internet works, right? Some folks out there are starting to question Oprah's sudden philanthropy. A bunch of TikTokers are raising eyebrows and suggesting a darker angle. They're hinting at a connection between the wildfires and a sneaky plan to grab valuable land from indigenous communities. The theory goes like this. Oprah snagged a massive 2,000 acre piece of the island back in March 2023. Adding to the mystery, Ulupalakwa Ranch sold two other substantial chunks of land, one spanning about 520 acres and the other 330 acres, to Oprah's Harpo business based in Los Angeles. These transactions totaled almost $4 million and $2.5 million, respectively. While this theory might tap into genuine concerns about locals struggling with housing shortages and possibly losing their homes, it's important to approach it with a critical eye. Surely Oprah's no stranger to Maui. She's had a part-time residence there for over 15 years. Her property portfolio on the island is quite impressive. She owns 870 acres in Kula, a spot in central Maui that got hit by the recent fires, causing the loss of a couple of homes and evacuations for around 80 folks from 40 houses. On top of that, she's got an additional 1,200 acres scattered around various spots on the island, like Hana and near Mount Haleakala. Importantly, these areas weren't affected by the recent fires. One of her properties sits on the slopes of Mount Haleakala, a massive 10,000-foot volcanic peak. Her farmhouse retreat there is all about comfort, complete with a cozy wraparound porch. Oprah described it as a gem and compared it to a soft, exquisite cashmere blanket. But here's where things get a little murky. Despite her deep connection to the island and all that land, some folks are wondering why she didn't make an on-site appearance to help out the wildfire victims. However, there are reports that she did make promises to assist them. She mentioned going to a shelter at the War Memorial Stadium, asking folks what they needed, and then doing some shopping for basics like towels, sheets, and shampoo. Reports also say she even personally delivered supplies to a shelter helping fire victims. Recently, she's been fully dedicated to extending aid to those affected by the wildfires. She's been actively involved with survivors at the War Memorial Complex in Wailuku, where around 1,000 residents have taken refuge.
So I came earlier just to see what people needed, and then went shopping.
But here's where things take an even stranger turn. There have been reports that during Oprah's visit to the fire victims, some kids mysteriously went missing without any clear explanation. Where could the kids possibly be? So, amidst all the destruction from the wildfires, questions are swirling about why Oprah's ranch on the island seems untouched and why some kids are mysteriously missing. Some are even wondering if the presence of her houses and properties in the area might be a factor in her active visits, or perhaps she had another sinister ulterior motive. Now let's talk about Howard Stern and his take on Oprah. Howard Stern didn't hold back when it came to sharing his thoughts about Oprah Winfrey's lifestyle and how she treats her employees. He spilled the tea during an episode of The Howard Stern Show on Sirius XM. Stern was pretty direct, saying, "Oprah's not embarrassed by her wealth at all." He felt she lacked some self-awareness because she frequently flaunts her lavish life on social media. He found it mind-blowing to follow her on Instagram, seeing her vast estates, beautiful gardens, and the staff taking care of her. It was a wild ride for Stern, who thought people shouldn't show off their wealth, especially when there are folks out there struggling. But as with any good debate, there's pushback. Stern's co-host, Robin Quivers, came to Oprah's defense, saying she's not showing off, but rather offering a glimpse into her life. Stern, however, stuck to his guns, emphasizing the importance of being aware that people out there are going through tough times. He mentioned his own discomfort, even with his good income, when watching Oprah. Her estate seemed unbelievable, and she did things like shopping in her backyard because she had a whole farm there. But this wasn't the first time Stern went after Oprah. Back in early 2022, he took a shot at her for hosting dinner parties at her palatial estate during a surge in COVID-19 cases and the Omicron variant spread. He was amazed by her Instagram, where she showcased these extravagant parties with different celebrity chefs each night. Stern even poked fun at Oprah's guests, mentioning young women from Africa, suggesting they were orphans. Robin Quivers pointed out that Oprah had started the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for girls in South Africa.
I will tell you what has brought me the greatest happiness, and it's so really unexpected. Being able to step into the mother role and be a real mother, friend, companion.
Stern didn't stop at critiquing her parties. He went on to fat shame Oprah, wondering what happened to her Weight Watchers journey when he saw her enjoying lavish meals.
I mean, on her Instagram, she likes to take you into her house, where every night of Christmas is a big party, like a celebration, and she flies in a different chef.
Some fans of Oprah, though, didn't take kindly to Stern's criticism. They called him out on social media, accusing him of hating on Oprah for sharing her lifestyle, and questioned why he hadn't criticized rich white men for similar behavior. A fan wrote, "First time I'm reading about Stern, maybe he is using Oprah's name to get into headlines. So sad, Howard, shame on you. There is COVID out there, and there was a 2-month-old baby around. So it's pretty sensible to be honest. I'm with Oprah here. You are still jealous of Oprah?" Another fan added, "Leave Oprah alone." Now, let's shift gears a bit. Oprah has faced another challenge to her reputation. Her alleged spiritual leader, João Teixeira de Faria, also known as John of God, recently received a 99-year sentence for crimes. This Brazilian faith healer faced charges of vulnerable persons and fraud against 8 victims who sought his spiritual help between 2010 and 2018. The scandal erupted in 2018 when over 300 women, including his own daughter, came forward with horrifying stories of stealing. This exposed John of God for who he truly was, a who had taken advantage of the trust of those seeking healing. What's interesting is that Oprah, who often positions herself as an advocate for girls, had been friends with this man for years, yet she didn't seem to notice any red flags. The survivors' accounts were heart-wrenching, describing manipulation, betrayal, and unspeakable acts of mishandling. John of God had promised healing but exploited their vulnerability, subjecting them to unimaginable acts of assault. This scandal shocked the world, and it was even more shocking to discover the connections John of God had with prominent figures, including Oprah. He gained international recognition as a medium and faith healer, and even Oprah dedicated an episode of her show to him in 2010, which gave him legitimacy in the eyes of millions. John of God's peril has raised speculations that Oprah knew about his evil acts and turned a blind eye because she had skeletons in her cupboard as well. In the end, even though there's no solid evidence backing these outrageous claims, people still buy into them. Maybe it's because the name Illuminati has been linked to the entertainment industry for ages, and folks think there's more to fame and fortune than meets the eye. After all, in Hollywood, your relevance often hinges on staying young and beautiful, so celebs might try just about anything to stay in the game. That's it for today. See you next time for more entertainment.